Hi, everyone. This week I got a wake-up call. I won't go into the details on this particular podcast, but this particular set of alarm bells reminded me that we cannot take tomorrow for granted. We can't even take the next few minutes for granted. Saying we will do something later is like playing the lottery. My personal alarm reminded me of who and what is truly important outside of my to-do list. I was also reminded that I have a purpose in this initiative, and it's to speak truthfully, lovingly, and boldly in the effort to help those who are sick, worn out, and burned out by this rat race that our culture has programmed us into. It's not like I haven't been doing this, but God alone sees the heart. And I know that I can do better and be more faithful. More to come if the Lord tarries. But the point is, let us all be more attentive to what God is saying and doing in our lives, and then go out and live on purpose, with a purpose, and with full of energy, with the passions, interests, talents, and the light that God has gifted each of us. I was reading scripture earlier this week, and this particular verse hit me hard. It's from 1 Samuel 2, 8 and 9. And it says, "For all the earth is the Lord's, and he has set the world in order. He will protect his faithful ones, but the wicked will disappear in darkness. No one will succeed by strength alone." Today's episode is about success and redefining success. I hope today's episode will be like a cold cup of water in the middle of a hot desert. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Work Life Eubiosis podcast with your host, Charleston Edwards. If this is your first time here, welcome. My goal is simple: to eradicate burnout and to bring harmony, purpose, and balance to this world, starting with the family. My hope is that this show and the story shared will provide encouragement and ideas that will be valuable to you on your journey to work-life freedom. So let's dive in to today's episode. Before AI, there was Google. Before Google, there was the smartphone. Before the smartphone, there was the computer. And before the computer, there was the typewriter. Before the typewriter, there was the factory. Before the factory, there was the machine. Before the machine, there was the wheel. Yes, this is all an overgeneralization of history. But with every technological advancement, humans have been forced to embrace change. Some of us embrace the progress, while others try to hold the line of ancient traditions. No matter what wheel is being reinvented, we must face the reality of change. Once again, the future is here. The nature of work has changed before our eyes, and we are accelerating into the unknown. In the world of the all-knowing and the all-doing AI machine, we must once again reimagine our jobs and how to remain relevant in a highly competitive workforce. However, before we can reimagine our work, we must first redefine success. The need to advance knowledge has existed since the Garden of Eden. As humans, we have always wanted more, to know more, to do more, to be more. We naturally ignore boundaries to make a name for ourselves in the name of progress. Good, bad, or indifferent, we are in a new era. Many have paved the way to the on-demand culture that we are all now enjoying. But as much as things have changed, nothing has changed. We are not satisfied. We still want more knowledge, and we want it in real time. In this new age of instantaneous knowledge, we must ask ourselves a few questions. What exactly are we aiming for? What do we want for our kids? How are we preparing our youth for adulthood? If jobs are changing, how is education changing? How are we as adults adapting to the fastest part of the rat race that we've ever seen? Is the American dream still the same, or did it take a radical left turn? Does the participation badge still have the same goals as when we entered the rat race? What is the point of our labor? Many would say that we work to be successful. I've said this 1,000 times, but it's worth the reminder. Success is not in titles, bank accounts, accolades, awards, or achievements. Success is being obedient to God's individual call on our lives. Success is absolutely personal. Success for me is different for you. We all have a role to play during our brief time on this earth. Success is a heart, mind, and soul condition. When we release our grip on the outcomes of our work, we will find that doing life with God and for God alone is more thrilling and fulfilling. Not only for this world, but more importantly for our eternal treasures. We will see that our hard times of labor are tests of faith to draw us closer to God. That's success. And furthermore, success in our work goes beyond our professions. As a society, we are sold careerism as a means to success. When we buy in at an elementary age of what success looks like, the more likely we are to get stuck in false securities for the rest of our lives. In the name of careerism, the pursuit of success often takes over our identities. And we forget that we are children of God, designed for His purpose, His glory. We're already valued, already secure, already loved. This does not mean to stop working. We are supposed to work. The point is to take a new perspective on work, to take a new perspective on success, to take a new perspective on the end goal, to rest easy that our endeavors are not in vain, even if we don't see the outcomes that we wish. There is a bigger purpose than whatever meets the eye. We have a heavenly Father who is sovereign, who sees everything and works all things out to His glory, for His good, and His purpose. When we realize this, we can release doing things in our own strength and give all the outcomes to God. Every single last one of our worries or concerns that plagues our thought lives can be released. This release of control is where we can find joy, contentment, and fulfillment as we live a full life with God and for God. We can let our striving for excellence be for God, not for man. Recently, I fell for the snake oil again. I clicked and listened to a podcast that made financial promises. As an entrepreneur with a long track record of feast and famine seasons, I am often tempted in the famine seasons by anyone who says that they can help me make 7 digits in a year, that they have made it, and let me show you how. Their YouTube, their funnel, their course, their method, their systems will bring in millions of dollars. Being wealthy would solve all my problems, right? I'm sure there are ideal consumers who need help in scaling their businesses, and I don't mind getting this type of support either. However, going for the riches is arguably the wrong goal. The point I'm trying to make is that going for prosperity before purpose is dangerous territory that typically does not end well. Research and our tabloids tells us that the wealthiest people who walk this earth are the unhappiest. The wealthiest people are the ones who have the biggest regrets at the end of the life. The wealthiest people are unfulfilled. This is the crux of the matter that we all have to deal with. Our divine purpose will always be under attack when we are lured into get-rich-quick schemes. The world will tempt us with the luxuries of life, the names that we can make for ourselves. And just like any programmed rat, we go racing for the bait. The rat race is a trap that steals the freedoms to be ourselves. We don't have to live to climb the corporate ladder. We don't have to prove our value and achievements. We do not need all the riches to be fulfilled. We don't need compensation for every minute that we spend our time. We don't need to stress all day and all night about things that don't even matter. We don't even have to change the world. All we need is to put God back in the center of our lives. The world that we need to focus on is the world that's right in front of us. A fulfilled life is in our personal relationships, in our family, in our community, and in the world that is right where we are planted. Yet there is an enormous reality that we all must face. We still have to provide for the family and pay the bills. This is tricky when everyone around us is jockeying and positioning for the next level on the ladder. It's tricky when the culture is now powered by AI super tools that can do our jobs for us. How can we survive? Better yet, navigate a culture changing at warp speed from a posture of humility and servitude? How can we maintain relevancy, simplicity, and integrity without conforming to the values of the culture? This gets back to reimagining success. We must reevaluate our end goal. Is the goal a comfortable retirement? Is the goal to serve other individuals or communities? Is the goal to feed and protect the family? Is the goal to live a simple and quiet life? Is the goal to be a leader? There is not one single right answer. As stated earlier, success is like a fingerprint. It's God's amazing hand that has built this beautiful mosaic of people from the beginning to the end, utilizing the diversity in each of us. We are all given a unique plot, passions, interests, and natural talents to cultivate creation and to build the kingdom. But our motives matter the most, no matter what we have been given. With this, we have and will always have tough choices confronting us. Will we chase the bait of how the world defines success, or will we find contentment in living in alignment with what God has designed for each of us? This episode is brought to you by Own Your 5 to 9, an organization committed to freeing families of the rat race and burnout. Every organization has a leader, mission, and a set of values that drives the organization. But this is commonly missed in the most important organization in the world, the family. An organization has one mission for how it will impact the world. Why not the family? An organization goes into strategic planning routinely to align its values, mission, and projects. Why not the family? Whose Home, a strategic planning guide for families, is a workbook and a tool needed in all households. Whose Home takes a strategic planning approach with 10 guided exercises to define your core family values, family mission, and tools to operationalize how your family does life together. If your family is facing a big decision, Whose Home is for you. If you're considering a career pivot, Whose Home is also for you. If you desire more intentionality and harmony in your home, Whose Home is for you. Create a healthy culture, not a hustle culture, at home. Visit ownyour5to9.com to claim your copy today. 2 weeks ago, I had the privilege of helping produce an event in Philadelphia. Over the course of the week, I got to know one of the hotel workers named Tico. His job was to move tables, chairs, stages, linens, trash, and all sorts of hotel equipment around. He was the point of contact for hundreds of other hotel workers who reported to him. On the last day during loadout, Tico and I were walking together, and he shared with me that he had thoroughly enjoyed working with our team. He stated that his purpose in life is to serve groups that come into the hotel and make their lives easier by playing his role in getting the space appropriately ready. This brought him great joy to do this type of grunt work and meet new people. He also shared that he cares less about all the paperwork and the computer work, so he intentionally stays away from that type of work. Tico has conviction, contentment, fulfillment, and purpose. Tico has no desire to own a hotel or climb the ladder at that hotel. Tico's fire lit me on fire. Here's a man working behind the scenes doing thankless, laborious work to build stages for other people to get spotlighted on that same stage. Tico understands his purpose, and it's in service, hospitality, and relationships. His humility is contagious and a reminder of the many different purposes and professions that this world has to offer that do not require fame or fortune. Out of all the people that I met and worked with in that hotel, Tico, in my eyes, was the most successful person in the building. Tico was the happiest person in the building. Tico was the most fulfilled person in that building. But yet he didn't need social media, a bigger title, or accolades to get any of this. Tico found success. One goal of this initiative is to encourage you through stories of others who are passionately following their purpose. Stories tell us what's possible. Stories share wisdom and simple truths. Stories open up minds to deeper meanings and concepts. Stories spark new ideas. I hope the story of Tico lit a new flame like it did for me. Maybe you have your own transformational story, and your purpose is to light someone else's flame. In either case, never forget to be human in this ever-changing AI-powered world. Someone needs your talent. Someone needs your voice. Someone needs your eyeballs. Someone needs your loving embrace. Someone needs your listening ear. Someone needs your physical health. Someone needs your heart, soul, and spirit. Humbly serving this world the way you were divinely designed is success. Humble service pays off, and we can all pay it forward. Thank you for listening to the Work-Life Eubiosis podcast, part of the Work-Life resources created by Own Your 5 to 9. I hope that you have found encouragement and a few ideas to strengthen your journey to purpose, freedom, and balance. Have you overcome burnout and found a new way of life? Millions around the globe are still at the risk of burnout and losing it all. And your story may be the one that sparks not only a dream, but action. Visit ownyour5to9.com for more information and submit your story. While you're there, join the Work-Life Eubiosis newsletter and receive additional resources weekly right to your inbox. If you enjoy this podcast, take time to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share it with a friend or loved one. Remember, the most important organization in the world is the family. Let's do our part to strengthen it. Thank you for listening.